All right, hey everybody, welcome to today's video, and today what I'm going to be covering is how to collect cash with application in your final expense telesales. Now, as I have a lot of people asking me this and reaching out and saying, hey, I have trouble asking clients for money and everybody wants to post date and none of our clients have any money and they're all broke and stuff like that. So I'm going to help bust some myths here today. As always, like the video, throw a comment in there, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications if you find value in this. It really helps me, so I'd really appreciate it. So getting cash with application, well, first off, actually, there was never used to be a such thing as post-dated payments. So if you think about like years ago when life insurance was only sold face-to-face, there weren't even advances on commissions. People were just collecting checks and then they would get paid every month as earned as they collect their clients' checks. And it was very customary for people to just collect money with the application. I mean, there aren't many things that you can buy and expect to not have to pay for it that day. So it's kind of the approach that you take is you have to assume that people know they're going to have to pay for something that day. Now, a lot of it comes into the verbiage when you're in the application and you're asking them when, or you're telling them when their payment's going to be set up for, okay? Try not to close with a post-dated payment. And I understand. We're in telesales. Sometimes it's hard. You're not face-to-face. It's easier face-to-face. They can't kick you out of their house. Well, they can, but they can't just hang up the phone and be like, oh, that's it. The call's over. I'm not paying today. So the verbiage that we like to use is to say this. Say, okay, Betty, now most of my clients want their programs to start as soon as possible. But the earliest I can start yours is 2 business days from today, which is when your bank's going to send in your first payment. What day of the month would you like your recurring payments to be on? Now, when you say that, it's true, because if you go to take money that day and do a cash with application sale, it's not going to draft for 48 hours anyway, because they have to send the notification to the bank has to clear it, then the payment has to draft. So even if you tell them that I'm going to draft the payment today, it's not going to come out that day. So that has helped us increase significantly our conversion for getting cash with application to about 60 to 70% of our applications being cash with application deals. And that ranges from premiums of $50 a month to $550 a month. The more money their premium is, the more you should be worried if they say that they don't have the money that day. Because if someone's signing up for a $300 a month policy and they're like, oh, I don't have the money till my check comes in, it's like, okay, is it going to be like that every month, right? So you're telling people, you say, okay, Betty, now most of my clients want to start their program as soon as possible. So you're kind of setting that like social proof of people wanting to start it right away. Then you say, but unfortunately, the earliest I can start yours, you're making it sound like it's a bad thing that you have to draft the payment right away. Or like it's unfortunate you can't draft it sooner, right? So unfortunately, the earliest I can start yours is 2 business days from today, which is when the bank's going to send in your first payment. What day of the month would you like your recurring payments to be on? And then they're going to tell you right there, oh, I can't pay today, I can't do it today, or whatever. And if they can't do it today, then that's fine. You know, you figure out what draft date works for them and whatever. Or you can maybe lower the premium to figure out what they can pay today. So some carriers have a grace period where if the client pays today and then their first payment, their recurring draft date falls within 10 business days of, or 10 calendar days of the next payment, then they get a month grace period, or a grace period. So for instance, say today's the 1st of the month. It's the 1st of the month. And they make their payment. And they're like, okay, well, I get my check on the 9th of the month, which isn't a thing, but you get it, right? Well, I get my check on the 9th, or maybe it's like the second Wednesday happens to be the 9th or something like that. So they get their check on the 9th and it's the 1st. And you're like, and they're like, well, I have to wait till then for the recurring payment setup or whatever to have it be Social Security billing. Well, what you can do, you can have them pay today. With some companies, like one of the companies we works with does it, American Amicable, they pay today, and then since the next payment would be within 10 days of their first payment, they don't have to make that next payment to the following month. So for instance, if they pay on the 1st of July, and their recurring draft date is set up for the 9th, then they wouldn't have to pay until the 9th of August, okay? Not every company does that. You'd have to look in to see what carriers do that. But sometimes that can help you be like, hey, look, you're going to have an extra week of insurance or whatever the case may be. They're not going to get double drafted. One thing that you can do as well to help you with cash with application sales is to quote really high. So it's perceptual contrast, right? So when you're quoting really high, then people are like, oh my gosh, there's so much money, I can't afford it, yada, yada, yada. And then as you slowly lower the premiums, or lower the benefit, right? You want to have it focusing on lowering the benefit so that they're trying to claw back as much benefit as possible, seeing how much they can squeeze in with their premiums. as you're lowering that benefit, as the premium drops, it's not as expensive as the initial one was. So they're more likely to be like, yeah, whatever, I'll just take care of it today, okay? It's like if you go to buy a car and you buy the car and then they're gonna throw in the all-weather mats, right? Because at that point, what's 300 bucks? You're already spending 30 grand or 40, whatever you drive, right? So same thing with this. It's like, it's already expensive, so it kind of just helps. It's similar, right? It helps with getting that money there. Now, the importance of getting a cash with application is that we've seen proof at our company that there's a 30% increase in persistency with policies where there's a cash with application. So if you're a new agent, or if you're an agent, you don't like chargebacks and you're selling over the phone, you can decrease your chargebacks by 30% just by getting those cash with application sales. Now, a good ratio selling over the phone telesales for cash with application is 60 to 70%. So you can get 2/3 of your business as cash with application, then that's really, 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 really good. It's gonna help you make more money. You may still get an advance even if you don't get cash with application, but what's the point of the advance if there's a chargeback, right? So you gotta understand, you're gonna get 30% more of your money sticking if you get that cash with the application. If you have any questions, reach out to me, jve@thejve.com. Email me for a copy of my sales script that actually has that entire verbiage right in my sales script, so I'll send that to you for free, no cost. Check it out. Also, check out the link in the description of the video and also the pinned comments if you're interested in seeing what we offer here at our agency for agents or seeing any of the other products that I have to offer that can help out agents, even if you don't work with me. You do not want to miss this next video coming up here where you can learn how to handle every single objection and final expense telesales. Stay tuned.